Welcome to BLYSS Talks today. How are you feeling today?
I'm fine. I'm glad we can have this conversation today, and happy you invited me to BLYSS Talks, this podcast. I'm Stefan from the KaffeeSatz's in Chemnitz, a small culture pub on the Zietenstraße in a part of city that's called Sonnenberg. And we got some time to talk about different topics, and I'm excited and I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for having us today. And since the majority of the audience are not aware of me, so maybe I should give a small introduction about myself. So I'm Arun. I'm a master's student at TU Chemnitz, and I'm also part of BLYSS Talk founding member. So thank you for having us today. And I know we were actually talking about this podcast episode for a very quite long time. Maybe last year.
Yeah, December.
Last year, December. And now actually we are recording.
Yeah, right here in KaffeeSatz's.
Yes. So I'm so excited today.
Yeah, me too.
And one of my first questions, I think I have been to KaffeeSatz's a lot, but one of the questions that was in my mind always was how exactly you founded this organization and this cultural space. And I see a lot of books here. It's very beautiful. And it looks very classic. So I just want to know what inspired to create this organization for cultural pub.
This organization actually was inspired by another organization. There was Stadthalten e.V. is the name. This organization tries to keep houses and buildings and stuff like that from being torn down. This place was vacant. So they asked a bunch of people in 2011 if they want to establish like a reading cafe or a cultural pub here. They asked those people, and those people gathered other people, and they started to work on this one, always with the imagination to be or to create a living room with a stage on it for people to get together, to have conversations, and also to test new shows or art or whatever they are doing. So yeah, this was founded in 2011. I was not a founding member. I joined here in 2016. But yeah, the inspiration was that another organization asked, this place is vacant. Would you like to have a living room for the community here?
And you also mentioned you also have a cafe board where you create a lot of episodes. So what kind of audience you are targeting, and when exactly you founded a cafe board?
The cafe pod, yeah, it's one of our, I'd say, many projects we're doing. Because as a cultural pub, we're doing a lot of shows, concerts, gaming, get-togethers, stuff like that. And in 2021, while there were restrictions because of the corona pandemic, we were forced to close the doors. So we couldn't do anything here in our venue. I often was over there at my neighbor's place, who's a great film nerd, and we watched the baddest B movies we could find, the lamest and cheapest. And at one point, we stood together on the balcony, have a cigarette, and said something like, we could actually talk about those. And since everyone else is doing a podcast right now and we can do nothing else, we just start a podcast for KaffeeSatz's. And we were thinking about what the topics should be. We started with B movies, bad movies, gaming, stuff like that. But we also, the longer we recorded and did the podcast, we thought about how nice it would be to invite artists, local people, to give a glimpse in what they are doing. The Cafe Pod podcast, which you can reach via our website, otherwise it's podcasts.kaffeesatz-chemnitz.de, is a mixture of different topics. There is no necessity to hear it in chronological order. Just pick a topic that you're interested in. You can listen to it. It's pretty much the same with here, with the program.
And I also try to listen to Cafe Pod, but I never seen any English podcast episode.
No.
So do you like to be creating much more towards the international people going further, or do you have any plan in mind?
We should actually, since it's the capital of culture in 2025, as Chemnitz, we should do way more international stuff. The thing is, we don't speak English on a daily basis.
Yeah, so sorry.
I hope everyone understands me. It's extra work. When we're talking in German, which is our native language, we're more spontaneous, more free. I think we have to do way more preparation to do topics in English, but maybe this one is a kickoff to do more topics in English.
Yeah, that's why we are here today.
Yeah, I hope it inspires me to do more in English. And on the other hand, some of our members do a very great Arnold Schwarzenegger impression, so
Okay.
it would be fun.
That's right. I never seen any English podcast in Chemnitz, so I thought maybe we should start something.
Yeah.
Then people might follow, and it also seems to be a good inspiration for people of Chemnitz. The another question, I'm also a little bit curious to know, what exactly KaffeeSatz's means to you?
To me personally, you mean?
To you personally, or for the other members? So how come you come up with the name KaffeeSatz's?
Yeah. The name itself is a joke, which I don't think it translates to English. What's KaffeeSatz in English? I think it's coffee grounds. The leftovers when you make coffee, that's what's left. I think it's coffee grounds. I'm not quite sure. There's this pseudo psychic technique where you put the KaffeeSatz, the coffee ground, on the table, and you kind of mix it, and you can predict the future from it. That's reading the coffee grounds. In German, it's KaffeeSatz lesen. So that's the one part of the joke. Best jokes are always those you have to explain. The other thing is, you mentioned we got a lot of books. And since this has been a reading cafe before, you can go into the reading cafe and read in the coffee grounds. And that's the whole joke about it. It's like those haircutter shops with those really silly names. It's a word joke. So that's what the term KaffeeSatz stands for. A place where you can go and read, which isn't actually true anymore because we got so many events that you rarely can sit in a corner and read a book. Yeah, that's the word joke itself. And to the other members and me as well, in general, it's a cultural living room. Like when you have a flat with different roommates, you regularly meet in the kitchen to chat or to hang out, something like that. And we're trying to be a replacement for that. So instead of going into a kitchen or even having a kitchen, you go here. It's like a big living room. There's always people here you may already know. And then they, I don't know, play games. They have a concert, stuff like that. That was where the cultural part comes in. But basically, it's a living room with a bar in it.
But I think the logo is actually very funny looking. I see like a coffee seed, a coffee bean.
Yeah.
And on the top of that, you put a spectacle.
Yeah.
So
like glasses, yeah.
What is behind creating that sort of logo for KaffeeSatz's?
I didn't create it, but it's it always also works into the bottom of the coffee bean, which has glasses on. It's also a book. Okay. And it's, again, it's this word joke which works in German, and not sure if it works in English, but you can read in the KaffeeSatz, in the coffee grounds, was kind of designated at some point to be a reading cafe, where you can go in, you grab a coffee, you sit in a corner quietly and read a book. It's actually not possible. It's way too small to not get disturbed by others and read a book.
But when I first looked at the logo, I think I thought maybe this might be a reading cafe. But on the other hand, I also see like maybe this is a place for people who are a little bit more intelligent, or maybe some philosophers, or maybe geeks, or computer or something related. This what I had a mixed imagination about KaffeeSatz's.
I think I can explain this. Like I said, KaffeeSatz's exists since 2011. And now it's 2025. I'm here since 2016. And every 5 years-ish, the whole lot of people who contribute to this place kind of interchange. There's rarely any of the founding members left. They're still in the association, but not actively contributing here anything because they moved away or they got other projects and work and stuff like that. It always changes, like every 5 years. Right now, it's still kind of the nerd bubble, and it's also started with lots of people who liked to read, who maybe kind of saw themselves as intellectuals or even philosophical people, and they did a lot of stuff with events with books. So about different topics, different genres, stuff like that. Right now we're mostly doing nerd stuff, but also books. But yeah, in the beginning, it was more like a focus on the reading cafe with a lot of books, with a lot of intellectual topics, stuff like that.
So only German books at the moment, or
pretty much, I think. We got some English-speaking books, but you have to really look for them. It is kind of a new thing to have more international audience. We got a lot of artists who are English-speaking, but rarely any English-speaking guests. I hope this changes now, because we're always trying to be motivated to make it as comfortable and as nice as possible for guests. So if more people would come in who speak English, we would more speak English as well.
Yeah, I think it's a cool place because whenever I come here in KaffeeSatz's events, for example, board game events, most of the people will speak English. I don't see any sort of language barrier here.
You know, we learn English at school in Germany, starting from, I don't think, third or fourth class degree, I don't know, but you rarely speak it on a daily basis.
Yeah, I mean, we also had the same issue back in India. Also, I started speaking in English when I was maybe doing my master degree. So that's how I learned. But before itself, I know English, but I never used to use it anyway.
Yeah, you kind of have to friendly force people to speak in a language both can understand. So I don't speak Indian, so we have to speak in English. But yeah, if you're kind of forced to communicate in a second or third language, you just improve. That's why I think it would be cool to have more international guests to force us to speak English, so our English will get better as well.
Yeah, I mean, we try to force you to learn English, but on the other hand, I can also learn something from you guys, maybe to improve my German language.
Yeah. I always think German is way more complicated compared to English, I think. And I'm saying this as someone who grew up with.
You're right, up to some extent, yeah.
With a lot of different rule sets and grammar and stuff like that. I think English is easier, more accessible, but yeah.
Germany is all about rules.
Maybe I can improve my Indian.
Yes, we speak a lot of language.
Yeah,
maybe more than 20 plus language throughout the state of India.
Okay, maybe I can pick some useful lines.
Yeah, maybe you should pick one or two. Maybe I think it depends on your interest. But yes, it is up to you. One of the other questions that comes to my mind is what make KaffeeSatz's unique compared to other cultural clubs or pub here in Chemnitz, especially in Sonberg. There are quite a number of cultural clubs I could see in Sonberg, but what's special about KaffeeSatz's compared to other?
I think there's I have to view it from different sides. So from when you're inside the association, when you're a member, when you're actively doing cultural work here, it is very open, very unrestricted. I always get the feeling that other institutions got a whole rule set. Like you have to meet once per month or per week, and a lot of discussions and a lot of barriers. And right here, we're always trying to say, do whatever you want. You got a nice idea. You want to, I don't know, start workshops about knitting maybe because you're into knitting, then just do it. So we will try to help and provide our knowledge that you can make this happen. And then we do this 3 or 4 times and then you see if it's working. And it's like our own living room. So if I wanted to, I don't know, change the lamp on the ceiling, I should check back with the other members and said, I have a suggestion. I would like to change the lamp on the ceiling. I already bought a new one. Is it cool with you? And most of the time, those people would say, yeah, this thing is way too old anyway, so just change it. And you can create here pretty free without many restrictions that people help you with making this idea come true. That's the inner. And the outer view is, I think, and this is hard to imagine for me because I'm a member since 2016, so a very long time. I think the wide range of events you can have here. You can come on Monday and play pen and paper role-playing games. You can come on Tuesday and, I don't know, play board game. No, I have a Japanese get-together where you can practice your Japanese language since this month.
Sounds good.
On Wednesday, you can come here and talk about photography. On Thursday, you can play board games. On Friday, there's a concert. And on Saturday, you can have, I don't know, trading card games. And on Sunday, you have a vegan brunch. So that's just part of the whole event program. It's not like we're open every day of the week, but it's actually really dense right now and many different things. And I think this is special. And other places you go, you only have concerts, you only have readings, you only have, I don't know, chess players, stuff like that. And here you have pretty much everything we as members want to do. So yeah, the wider range of events plus the opportunity to just show up and experience new things and to enter the stage yourself at certain points. Like we got a art exhibition. So there's art on the walls and some artists created those and they're just here and you can look at it and look at the flyer if you're more interested, maybe buy something or whatever, look at the art. And people can always come in here and say, I do this and this. I play this instrument, or I have a stage show, or I have a book, a novel, or something like that. Can I present it here? And we're trying to make it happen as long as we also want to do this.
And one of my fourth question is, what is a famous events or programs which you have created in KaffeeSatz's? Something more memorable, isn't it? I think it will be much more exciting to talk about it. What kind of events you offer and what is more exciting about the events? Maybe board game will be one, and there is one more. It's called Open Stage. Yeah. Maybe I think what is more exciting about the events, which is the most memorable events you have experienced so far in KaffeeSatz's?
Mm-hmm. For me personally, it's the nerd quiz.
Okay.
We do this like every 3 or 4 months whenever there's time. It's a quiz show, about 60 to 80 questions in different categories, all about pop culture, like movies, video games, strange facts, some science, not too high. And the room is packed with people, all nerds, pretty much 60 to 70%. Fat guys with beard and glasses, like you imagine, but also so it's a mixed pack of people, and they're all having fun. We kind of push those people. We don't be too offensive, but we're trying to motivate them to compete with each other because it's a team game. Every table is its own team. Got a lot of prizes. This one's great. In different ways. The event itself is cool and it's pretty unique in Chemnitz. Mm-hmm. I even experienced some people from further away, like I think it was Munich or Stuttgart, somewhere in South Germany, who were here and they experienced this nerd quiz and they came to the stage afterwards and asked us if we could do this in, let's say, Munich. Okay. And was like, don't you have something like a nerd quiz in Munich? And they, no, we don't. And we also got this one nerd quiz here in Chemnitz. I hope there will be more coming. So this is pretty unique, one of my absolutely favorite events. Apart from that, every concert is kind of magic because everyone is listening in silence and focus, and the music is great, and the acoustics in here are great. So every concert is great, every reading is great. I got another event which is also kind of tradition. There's an author from Chemnitz. His name is Alexander Büttner, and he wrote the Aquileria books, which are fantasy books based in a fictional fantasy land, like, I don't know, Middle Earth or something like that. They're created here in Chemnitz. They are printed locally. They're printed environmental friendly. And when we started the podcast, Alexander reached out to us and said, I'd like to present my books here, if that's cool with you. And I said, cool, fantasy from Chemnitz. Yeah, feel invited. Go here. And I convinced him to do a reading here he never did a reading in public before. He read these books to his family and friends and stuff like that, but never in public. I convinced him to do this public, and since then he returns every year in November to do another reading.
Okay, that sounds interesting. I mean,
that's great, yeah. And apart from that, we got those get-togethers on a regular basis. We call those Zusammentische. It's like a round table, but not with old men drinking beer and rambling about politics, but for your interests, like board games, like photography. Japanese is a new thing. And my personal favorite on those get-togethers are the pen and paper role-playing events, mini events, where you can go into pen and paper role-playing. Maybe Dungeons and Dragons is the most common known, but we do a lot of other systems, and feel free to come here to test this hobby or find new players or new play rounds, something like that, and just to nerd with all the people here.
Maybe I should try pen and paper going further, because I heard about this event, but I never participated in pen and paper so far, but maybe I can try.
It's great. That's great. Imagine you're playing a video game, like a video role-playing game, but instead of you're in front of a locked door, and instead of picking the lock or busting the door open, you can improvise. You can do anything. You can scream for help, and if the guard shows up, you knock him out, something like that. You can crawl over the walls, or you can, whatever you think of. Your fantasy is the only limitation, and your dice rolls.
Okay, maybe I should try.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great experience.
So my next question will be like, how KaffeeSatz's engaging with people of Chemnitz, especially in Sonberg neighborhood? So do you have something in your mind?
We got different ways to engage with people. We rarely go out. So most of the time we're in here doing stuff here, but you're always invited to come in. When the light is on outside the door, just come in, and you will be welcomed and introduced in nerdy games or singing together or stuff like that. We also got Art Around, which is like some sort out part of KaffeeSatz's. Sebastian Nikolic is doing this, and he's doing art for children, introducing them to art and creating art, stuff like that. So we engage with this. We also got those neighborhood get-togethers like Hang zur Kultur, which is like the neighborhood festival where all the cultural places in here open their doors, something like that. We try to be part of this, also the Christmas market in the Sonnenberg, but we rarely go out, into a park and start reading. We have rarely any concepts for doing this, but people who want to join and can just come in. And I think the most valuable part of all this is we try to make it as accessible as possible, which means we do not charge any fee for our events. Or maybe there are some special events where we have to charge a fee, like a whiskey tasting or something like that. But regularly you can just come in here, and if you like it, you can leave some money here, or buy drinks, stuff like that, put something in the hat for the artist. And if you say, this doesn't fit me, or it just sucks, then you go and you have lost no money at all. Can even drink water for free. So that's one accessible point. And the other is to make the topic itself as accessible as possible. Like I said, on pen and paper role-playing games, for example, it can be quite overwhelming to play a game with pretty much no restrictions. Like on a board game, it says you roll a dice and you can walk 5 spaces and then take this and this resource. In a pen and paper, you can do anything. We're trying to boil it down to just imagine what your character would do, and I tell you what dice rolls would be necessary for this one, stuff like that. We try to welcome you, tell you what's happening here, invite you to join in, and make it as accessible as possible. And this is how we engage with the community, apart from events that are in the
And
community.
maybe I also have one more question. Like, do you have any WhatsApp group or Telegram group to engage with communities around Sonberg or people of Chemnitz?
Yeah. We have a homepage. On this homepage, we have also links to Instagram, Facebook. We stopped using X.
Okay. Me too. I'm not a great fan of X.
Yeah, we may also stop using stuff from Meta, but it's not like we could snap a finger and go out of that. But it may be in the making. Let's see. I think the best way to communicate with us would be our Discord channel, which is like a gaming chat. It is used mostly for gaming, but you have text channels and you have voice channels, and you can go in there and text with us directly.
And anyone can join the Discord channel. Yeah. So where exactly I can find these details from your website or Instagram?
On the website would be the best way. It's KaffeeSatz's-Chemnitz.de. And right at the bottom of the site, there are all those social media links, actually, because Discord is like a complicated invite link, which I can't recite right here. It's a combination of numbers and letters, but you find it there. And apart from that, just come in here and give us feedback directly. You just stumble up to the bar and said, I like this or I dislike that. And if a certain amount of people said, I like this or I dislike that, we may change it into their favor.
So if my understanding is correct, you are open for almost all kind of feedback from people of Chemnitz or Sonberg. And on the other hand, what kind of discussion you will be doing in Discord, whether it's just a normal discussion or it's like more something towards creative ideas, or what kind of discussion is happening in Discord?
Right now, the pen and paper role-playing channel, because we're a bunch of nerds, is the most active channel. As all, we got a channel for photography, which is kind of vacant right now. We got one for movies and TV series, for pen and paper, for trading card games, and one for everything else. If someone says, can you make a channel for this and that, I happily will create this channel as well. And the discussions are just about a certain topic. So I don't know, there's a new pen and paper role-playing system out there. Have you already tested it? And people respond to that. They rarely leave any feedback about events or even the podcast, which is a shame because it's a great podcast. We also got a glass where you can write down feedback and put it in. And when we have members get together, we will look at this feedback and see what we can change. Discussions are mostly about nerdic topics right now, but this can change at any point. Just feel invited to join in and say, oh, I would like to have a channel about, I don't know, board games. We create one and then you can talk about board games in this channel.
That sounds interesting. Maybe I should also join Discord channel.
You can. It's as well, German is the most common language there, but like we already realized, everything speaks English to a certain point, and I don't know, communication will be there, will be available.
And these events will be happening in German or in English? How it is going to be?
What events?
Most of the discussion happening in Discord, it will be in English or in German?
Mostly in German right now, but like I said, I invite everyone to come here, speak English, or come to our Discord, speak English, and kind of push more into international language.
Yeah. Sounds interesting. So my next question will be, so what role KaffeeSatz's normally plays for the community development in Sonberg or in Chemnitz? What kind of role do you like to play in general?
There's like a funny in-joke where we are kind of the pioneers for new sorts of events. We did for example, a jam session where you can pick up your instrument and come here and don't have to be a professional musician, don't have to play an instrument at all, can just test them out here. And people come here and try to jam together without a certain song or notes or stuff like that. Something starts to play a guitar, another one starts drumming to it, and the third one, I don't know, has an egg with some rice in it and it starts shaking, something like that. We don't do this anymore because the person who did it doesn't have time for it anymore. But other places, just in the area, do a jam session on a regular basis, stuff like that. The Nerd Quiz, for example, we're kind of a pioneer in Chemnitz to do a nerd quiz, I think. And I hope to see other places do it as well. So that's the in-joke to that. We're kind of pioneers something, we're like a testing stage because it's small. So if you have, I don't know, if you have a comedy program, for example, and you don't want to do this on a competition in front of 1,000 people or something like that, you can come here because there's like 30 people fitting in here at best. And you have a small audience where you can test your stuff. And if it all goes south, you just blame yourself in front of 30 instead of 1,000 people. So you can always come here and test out. And that's pretty much the place what we're here for. To get together, to talk with each other, relax together, have a good time, but also test new formats, read your book, your poems, do an exhibition, an art exhibition with your art, something like that. So pretty much that's the role. And if it works, connection. So maybe there's something from another institution or someone coming in here, and we try to do some networking, some connection thing. But mostly it's a testing ground.
Maybe I have some ideas or something. For example, let's say
Nothing with fire, please.
Yes, that's true. But I just thinking, like, for example, one of my friend, he is good in playing a classical instrument, or maybe Indian musical instrument, for example, and he want to play his a song in front of a couple of audience in Chemnitz. So do you think a KaffeeSatz's will be a good option in that area where he can play his music in front of people here? And whom should he contact in that case if you people are open to us?
It's actually the best place you can pick, I think. Because like I said, it's a small audience. It's a very, very quiet audience. The people who are here to listen to music are here to listen to music. What can you do? You look at the homepage. There's ways to contact us. Most common way is to write at info@KaffeeSatz's-Chemnitz.de. Just to write a short mail. I do this and this instrument, and I have a small show, like 30 minutes. Can you arrange something? And then we ask around to our members who's interested in this, who would do this. And then we kind of take you by the hand and ask, what kind of show do you want? How long does the show go? What do you imagine? Do we need to, I don't know, hang up specifically green balloons or stuff like that, if it's not too expensive? And trying to work out that show together with the person. So like I would get such a message. I would ask, okay, maybe you have a set of 30 minutes, which seems kind of small for a whole evening show, but I got this one person who did travels to India maybe, and has a book about it with poems that he came up while traveling India. Maybe we can hook up a show together. Maybe this guy can read like 3 poems and then you play some music and so on and so on. And we're trying to make it possible in a good way where people feel comfortable to do it and to encourage them to do their shows. But yeah, just go on the homepage, find the info at KaffeeSatz's email address, just write us and say, can I play here? And we will get back to you and say, Sure.
Okay.
How can we do it? Yeah.
For running KaffeeSatz's, I think it is very complicated time to time. Maybe for running any sort of organization, I think it is quite complex when it comes to making decision or creating new events.
Mm-hmm.
So do you face similar challenges to organize a lot of events in KaffeeSatz's, and how did you overcome in by managing a lot of events, by managing a lot of people and do marketing things? I don't know how you're marketing, but how did you overcome to start from zero to KaffeeSatz's? I think many people knows about KaffeeSatz's now. So how did you manage to come up with this idea to something more transforming in general?
I got lucky because when I joined here, many things were already set. So you got some certain stuff that has to be done before opening, like cleaning, like setting up the coffee machine, checking the temperature of the fridge, and hygiene, stuff like that. So pretty much like when you open a regular bar, you don't want to have rats in here, stuff like that. Yeah, it's not that dramatic, but you get the point. We started out, I think, at the time when I joined here, there were only a few members left, like 5 active people. So we started to do pretty much everything. So we talked to the artists, we set the stage, we prepared the technique, and then we were behind the bar and gave out beers and whatever was there to buy. Right now we're having about, I think, 25 active members, and got the luxury to set up different departments. Mm-hmm. Like some people are responsible to set up the concerts, or at least answer the mails from the artists, and as the others, we got people who are here for social media. Like, I don't know, yesterday there was a karaoke here, people did some photos, and then someone has to sort through those photos, pick the best, 5, write a small text, and put it on our Insta page, stuff like that. Others care about finances, and we got 3 people basically in charge. One like a boss, then a vice, something like that, and one person who is responsible for financial stuff.
Oh, okay. There is a lot of altogether some sort of hierarchy in the management.
Very small. It's actually just one step. So you have the members, and then you have in German it's called Vorstand. So basically 3 people who kind of have the most responsibility for this place and try to organize and arrange the members so that everything fits well. But everybody cares for the place equally. Everyone's responsible to keep this place clean. Everyone's responsible to think of new events or organize events, depending on what they want to do. But most of the time we want to do it because it would be an event that we would go to. So it's not like a work. It's more like, it's our free time. We don't get paid for it. Okay. What can we do in our free time? I'd like to listen to this band or this guy who's playing the Indian instruments. So I invite him, set up the stage, and enjoy a concert just behind the bar instead of in front of it. And apart from that, we mostly finance ourselves via the drinks you can buy here. So every drink you buy here is basically you're doing something for the culture. Oh. We pay the rent for it. We pay the power, the internet, stuff like that. Also, certain fees who are necessary to have live music, something like that. And so pretty much it's running, and right now it's more like you have to always kind of push people to say, how far are you with this project? Do you need any help? Should we rearrange? Can you still do it, or should someone else do it? That's right now the main part.
Yeah, I think one of the feedback which I have is whenever I visit KaffeeSatz's, I often need to pay by cash.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's a much more a German thing. I mean, in Germany, most of the people like to pay by cash.
Yeah.
But in KaffeeSatz's, I think I don't see that cashless payment system like in Locomo, for example.
Right now.
Right now.
But
I think it will be a great idea to keep a cashless payment rather than keeping it in a cash payment.
This is a great idea. And it's such a great idea that right now I'm telling you, we're already working on this idea. Even before you asked for this feedback, I think we already got the device to pay. We just have to set up something with the bank account or something like that. But I think it's not a promise. Don't what's the word? Nail me down on that? I don't know. Don't say Stefan said you can pay without cash here, but we're setting this one up. And just because you just gave this feedback right now, we're already on it. It takes some time. It's easier to just pay cash for us. So, but we're setting up for cashless payment since the ATM on the street up there is not as reliable as we thought. Yeah, we're already on it, especially with the Capital of Culture year. We expect more international guests, and they rarely pay cash. So yeah,
I mean it's a great to use cashless payment. I think it will be amazing idea
for us as well.
All right. So we have couple of more questions coming up, but in that I just want to take most important questions. So which is more about the vision of KaffeeSatz's.
Yeah.
And what kind of new projects and events are in the pipeline.
Since it's the year of the cultural capital of Chemnitz, we got a lot of different plans, like a book of the month or art exhibition of the month, which are kind of in the making. So like loose promises at this point. Got a song quiz, and basically we're doing this more of the same, more of events that we would like to go to. On that part, future vision of the KaffeeSatz's is to lure in more specific institutions or people. Like we got the pen and paper role-playing events. Would be great if we had a role-playing shop right at the other part of the street.
So you want to make it more real?
I want to
in a real life.
In a real life, yeah. I think, the future is we will always be a testing ground, and we will always do what we want to do in kind of events. Speaking of events, more members, more fresh ideas, maybe more speaking English actually, or getting more international, connecting with other institutions, and doing a lot of podcast stuff. Yeah, basically
you can do a lot of podcasts.
Yeah, totally. Totally. Pretty much that's the vision. More of the same, more of the cultural living room with a bar in it.
Suppose I want to be a part of KaffeeSatz's as a member. So how and on the other hand, people who are listening to this podcast today, so how listeners and people like me can join with KaffeeSatz's as a member and start working in a volunteer basis. So how can I apply for this opportunity?
It's pretty much the same. You just look on the homepage. There's a whole paragraph about it. Basically, you have two options. Number one is throw money at us. So you earn a lot of money. You got like 1,000 euros left over in a month. You said, where should I put it? Where should I put all this money before it blows my bank account? Just spend it to us, and we can buy new technique and pay artists for it, or whatever we come up with. The other possibility would be to just come here or write on the info@ email address that you're interested in working here voluntarily. And we always do some kind of let's call it an internship. It's not like we're rating people, but it's a good way to help behind the bar or organizing things, so you get to know us and we get to know you. And let's say after 2 or 3 months, depending on how often you are here, you can say, I still want to join, or you can say, no, it's not my kind of institution. I really don't want to join anymore. And from this point on, it's just a formality. So you just have to sign under a contract. You have to give some blood in case we need to find you when you go dark somewhere. And we have to sacrifice a goat or something like that. No, it goes the wrong way. I can't come up with more shit. No, you just join. But just come here, help us at the bar, give out some beers, and see if it vibes you, and if you have any ideas to go here. But there's no epic restrictions or anything. Just come here and say, I want to help you. I say, cool. And after a while, we will automatically say, you're here so often. Have you ever thought about joining? That's pretty much how we acquire new members.
Membership will not be immediate, but there will be always some internship phases or testing phases. Then after that, you will initiate for a formal membership.
Yeah, it can be immediately, but we have... it works well if we get to know each other. Most of our members were regulars anyway since a year or something like that. And at some point they said, I got a lot of free time and I like this place and I want to create it together with you. So can I join? And then we say, yeah, we already know you, just join in. So it's kind of immediately, but just take your time to get to know each other before you simply join, and then it's a club you don't want to be in.
So how do you describe KaffeeSatz's in one word?
Cozy. Let me explain it a bit. You see the books on the wall. If you can see the rest of the room, there are like older tables, there are sofas, there are kind of cozy chairs, some more cozy, more less cozy. And it's a word that people often drop when they come in here for the first time. They look around and say, oh, it's cozy in here. Because it's a living room with a bar in it. So it is a place to calm down, to relax, to chill, to meet people you like most of the time, and to enjoy art, and not to be in the daily treadmill of you need to be and you have to be the loudest or the best dancer or the best singer or something like that. Just sit in here. If you like it, stay. If you don't, leave. And if you like it a lot, then pay some money for it. So
for me, it's personally, I think it's very cozy, quiet. Sometimes I think there will be a lot of karaoke and fun, but what I thought about is like having a deep conversation with people and engaging with some very thoughtful conversation rather than in just like a small talk or anything. But whenever I come here, I do have a lot of deep conversation with a lot of people.
It works here as well. I mean, imagine you have the kitchen in the you meet your flatmate, and today you read an article about, I don't know, philosophy, and you want to engage with people. You can ask, and if he's up to it, you can have a deep conversation as well. Sure. It depends on who's there and in what mood the people are. Yeah, both works.
And the final question for today, but I think I like to talk a lot, or I just want to ask a lot of questions to you, but maybe we need to end this somewhere. So my final question will be, what kind of message you want to share with people of Chemnitz today before we end up our podcast?
I'd say use opportunities, go out, use places like the KaffeeSatz's as a testing ground. I met in my time in KaffeeSatz's and also my time in Chemnitz, I met a lot of people who can do awesome things. And they rarely see themselves as people who do awesome things. They do awesome music, art, they write stuff, or they even make a great podcast. And most of those people, they share it with their friends or some inner circles. They rarely go public. And you don't need to go public in a way where a whole lot of Germany or the world knows you. A small step can be just to come here, present yourself, get some feedback, work on it, and become better and better. Because I've seen a lot of people who got the courage to show something they do in public, got a lot of positive feedback, and since then often go public and improve their life. So yeah, maybe you're some kind of introvert or more introverted. Use your chance in a small space. Come to us. Use this small space and don't leave your art in the drawer.
Oh, that's cool. Even I'm also an introvert. I think I just show up very often. Maybe I'm not that very too extroverted.
We can meet every other week, have a conversation, record it.
And see what things out. Yeah, this is what I'm also thinking about. Maybe I can also show, since we live in 2025 and there are a lot of things coming in AI and LLM, so we can also do something about that as that sort of technology here in KaffeeSatz's. I'm not really sure whether this will be a perfect fit.
It's interesting. Also, like a loose promise. I'm just setting up a podcast with another guy who has a lecture about AI. Maybe I get back to you as a second guest.
Possible. Yes.
Yeah. I mentioned pen and paper role-playing game a few times, and I figured people don't necessarily know what it is. You may know Dungeons and Dragons, stuff like that. We don't start a whole Dungeons and Dragons scene here. I kind of made it more basically, so like a short scene. Imagine, or from time to time, you may watch a movie, and especially in horror movies, you get to the point where you yell at a person and yell, "Not that way! The killer is there!" Something like that. And you wanted that the person goes the other way. In pen and paper role playing, you can do this. We're basically telling a story, and you're a character in the story, and depending on your decisions, the story goes on. Can be good decisions, can be bad decisions. You don't fail, basically. You may die, depends on the system. Your figure will die, not you. And it's mostly set in fantasy settings, like Lord of the Rings, something like that. So
I can try. I mean,
yeah,
that's
you got choices. The first choice would be, if you're playing in a fantasy story, would you play a warrior, a rogue, or a wizard?
I'll take warrior.
The warrior. All right. The warrior has certain stats. Those are wrote down on a character sheet. Normally, we just put it down on a piece of paper. You got strength.
Is this?
It's a hard word, but
okay.
You're very strong. You got a strength of 17. The higher the numbers, the stronger you are. You got dexterity, which is good for sneaking or fiddling around with your hands, and you got 12 on that. Intelligence, which lets you solve problems or see things, goes with 7, because a warrior is mostly strong, not that intelligent. And it got a charisma, which is mostly used for interactions with other people, like trading or persuading something, is set on 9. I put you into a situation, and you tell me what your character would do, and that's basically the whole game. And whenever there's a decision with a certain amount of randomness, something could go wrong, we roll dice depending on your numbers. So the situation is the following. After weeks of adventuring around and looking into caves, dungeons, stuff like that, you reach the nearest village. It's a small hamlet with like 10 houses.
So I have to think everything inside my mind?
Yeah. Imagine
okay.
The same thing. Your warrior, I think a strong guy with a shield and an axe maybe, just walks along a road through a hamlet, some farms, some people, and you get to the marketplace. It's pretty much vacant because it's not a market day, but there are 3 people. A tall guy with a deep voice, a young child, I think it's a young woman, and an old lady, grandma. They're standing around a black bag, like a coin purse, and you hear them arguing. The tall one says, "No, that's my coin purse. You just give it back to me. I smash every one of you." And the small child is like, "No, that's mine. I have to buy medicine for my grandpa." You dive into roles in role-playing games. Imagine that. And the old grandma stands beside, which, "If you both argue about this, I just take the coin purse and be back on my way." You see, they're this close to fighting. The grandma fumbles in her handbag, maybe to get out a shiv or something like that. The tall guy flexes his muscles, and the child nervously looks around. Something may happen in the next few minutes, and you're eager to step in, I think. How would you approach this problem?
It is too complicated for me.
Okay. Imagine you're very strong, and just at this moment, you see that the tall guy is kind of fixing his eyes on the small child. The small child is nervously looking around, and you kind of get the impression that he will just punch the small child. The grandma doesn't seem to be a big threat, but they all want this bag full of coins, maybe, or something valuable.
If I was in this situation, given as my character, so I would try to be cool as much as possible. So I try to de-escalate the situation in a much more in a dialogue voice. Then if nothing happens, then maybe I have to push him back to my using my strength.
Yeah. Then you step up to these 3 people,
yes,
and say something like, "Stop at once. Don't fight over money."
I tried to do it in this set. So first I just want to de-escalate, and if nothing happens, then I just want to push him away.
All right.
So that I can protect others.
That's where the dice come into play.
Okay.
You're trying to de-escalate. Try to be as calm as possible to get them to cool down. You take a D20. That's a 20-sided die. And you have to roll under, equal or under your charisma value, which is 9. So you take this dice, and if you have any idea how you would approach them, like what you're telling, or if you have any idea how this would be easier, you just sorry. If you have any idea how this would be easier, you just tell me, and I make the roll even easier for you. Otherwise, you have to reach 9 or below on a 20-sided.
So I have to roll the dice first, and I will get some number.
Yeah, and if you're rolled equal or under the number of your charisma, which means from 1 to 9, you succeeded. Otherwise, you failed.
Okay. So I will try now. So I will roll the dice, and I will throw it here. And let's try.
You rolled a 10. You needed a 9. So you just move towards them, comfortably, calming, lifting your hands up in order to de-escalate. But then you kind of fumble. There's a stone on the path.
That will be too early.
And you run through the big guy. You kind of bump into him. For away, okay, he's away from the child and from the old lady, but he looks at you angry. "What are you getting mixed up in here? Get along! Run! Or I smash your face in!" He's angry.
So in this situation, again, I have to roll the dice to...
if you want to punch him, you roll the dice on strength. If you want to...
so in this case, I just want to punch him.
Yeah.
I have to roll the dice again.
Yeah. You just roll the dice. You got a strength of 17, and if you succeed, you punch him.
So in case, if it is below, then I failed.
If it's... in this case, it's there are different systems. But in this system, you have to reach the numbers from 1 to 17 to succeed. 18, 19, 20 would be a fail.
Okay. So let's try again. So this time I just want to punch him. Okay. So it looks like it is 15.
15, yeah. You use your swing, your stumbling to gain momentum and to just punch him on the nose. You hear a satisfying crack when he falls to the ground. His eyes go up into his skull, and he's just lying there. You only have 2 people there still arguing about the purse on the ground, which is the old lady and the young child. The young child kind of looks terrified and does something behind his back, and the old lady still reaches around in her purse. Maybe a quick intelligence check to see if you can perceive something that's happening. So you roll the dice again and have to reach a 1 to 7 to succeed. Otherwise, you fail.
Okay, so I will try again. So now, if I'm not wrong, I already punched him.
This guy is knocked out cold.
Okay. So now, afterwards, I need to... Oh, okay.
First do me this intelligence check to see if you perceive something special.
Okay. So
it's a 14.
So all right, means I failed.
Which means you fail. Which means you spot 2 things. You got the purse on the ground, which you can actually also take if you want. It's also a possibility. The small child has his hands behind his back and does something, and the old lady just pulls something out of her purse, and it looks like a root, like a very shrinkled cucumber.
Mm-hmm.
And she's kind of mumbling something there, and that's wow. How would you react? How would your warrior react?
I try to ignore.
You try to ignore this.
Yes.
All right.
Because for me, it doesn't matter whether somebody is doing some sort of thing, but as a warrior, I mean, I don't really care.
Then the small child pulls out a shiv. Looks at you, angry, really angry. Says, "This will not be your day. You've interfered. I want this back. Just run. I'll cut you open." And you kind of, it's not like the friendly little girl anymore. Kind of, her face looks older and more grim, and she's like, "Just run away." The old lady, on the other hand, points that root at the young child and still mumbles. And right now she swings around with this root. You have one more chance to react in something. The child looks like it's about to attack you, and the old lady kind of wants to poke the small child with this root. So to conclude this, one more action, what would you do? And after this, we stop the scene.
I think considering his age, I just try to ignore it again.
Okay.
Because there's no point of arguing with a small child.
Yeah.
So
the small child leaves out screams. He just, now you die. And she starts running at you. The old lady, on the other hand, kind of gets louder. She speaks in a foreign language you don't know. And at the highest point, she points at the smile. The child just vanishes. And the old lady looks at you, is like, "Thank you, warrior." The tall guy, he was about to punch all of us, but the small child was a devil, a demon who wants to have my possession. I beg you to let the purse to me and visit me later in my hut, and I can give you a reward.
No, but now I'm in a situation where I have to take the reward or not. So
I will have the whole purse with matching maybe valuable stuff in it, or you just let her have it and go to her hut.
I will let her go because I don't expect any sort of reward.
Yeah.
Maybe I just want to be much more empathetic towards a old lady. I didn't do it for a reward.
Yeah.
So I just let it go. And yeah, that's all I do.
Okay. And with this, we conclude the scene. You may later find out if she's a bad witch or a good witch, if she actually rewards you. Anyways, your reputation in this small hamlet has, you have gained some reputation in this small hamlet. At this point, you could get experience point to level up your character, do more stuff, or turn your values up, something like that. And if you want to experience pen and paper role-playing games in this setting or any else, just swing by for our pen and paper role-playing events. And we even got those 20s here. You need nothing but your imagination. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you for joining with us today. And I'm looking forward for more episode with you. And KaffeeSatz's is amazing.
Thank you.
And yeah, that's it. And thank you so much.
I had a great time. Thank you for being here, and looking forward to upcoming projects.
Thank you.
See you around.
See you. Bye-bye.